Welcome to another edition of Poker Buzz right here on Card Player TV. The 2011 PokerStars World Championship of Online Poker, better known as the WCOOP, came to an end yesterday with the completion of its $5,000 main event. During the series, 62 events spanning most every game and format took place with a grand total of 119,832 entries and more than $47 million in prize money. Some big names won events along the way, including Jonathan Karamalakis, Noah Exclusive Boken, Mike GoLeafsGoEh Leah, Shane Shaniak Schlager, Dan DJK123 Kelly, Steve Gboro 780 Gross, Nicholas Nick Schweedy, and Joe Ender 555 Ebanks. In the main event, 1,627 players bought in for $5,000, creating an $8.1 million prize pool. Some big names made deep runs, including Tom Marchese, who finished 23rd, Donnie Stern, who finished 13th, Nikki Jedlicka, who got 12th, and Kenny Hicks, who came in 10th. The biggest name at the final table was Mike Leah, who finished 3rd for $560,000. When all was said and done, Thomas Kaye Pedersen walked away as the 2011 WCOOP main event champion with $1.26 million for first after a 5-way ICM deal. Joel Adam, Two-Fly-to-Till Gordon, won the Player of the Series and was awarded a package that included buy-ins to some of PokerStars' largest live events. Other players to finish high on the Player of the Series leaderboard were Daniel Negreanu in 3rd, Steve Gross for a tie for 5th, and Mike Leah in 8th. Card Player TV caught up with Leah to discuss his incredible WCOOP run. First of all, congratulations on a great WCOOP, a bracelet win in Badoogie, and this huge score in the main event. I believe the biggest score of your career. You must be feeling good.
Yeah, feels amazing. Very, very gratifying.
So before we talk main event, can you tell me a little bit about the Badoogie win? I believe this is your first WCOOP win, right?
Yeah, that was my first WCOOP win. You don't expect it to be in an event like that, but then you almost kind of do, just because the fields are a lot smaller in the mixed events. Badoogie definitely, probably I wouldn't say is my best game. I think it was maybe only my 3rd Badoogie tournament after a couple F-Tops events. But I really enjoy the draw games, and felt I played okay, and obviously in that tournament I felt I played pretty good, and to win a WCOOP event was really, really special, and one of the biggest wins of my poker career, even though it was only 17,000, just because it was winning a bracelet and winning a special event. But then obviously what happened yesterday is a little bit bigger.
Definitely. So, I mean, yeah, the event is huge. I mean, even if, it's obviously, if not the biggest, one of the biggest online tournaments of the year, but I mean, it's massive by any comparison. It's a 5K event, and there was more than 1,600 players, an $8.1 million prize pool. Even though, that was down from last year, it's pretty sick that it was so big in the wake of Black Friday.
For sure. Yeah, no, the fields for, I think, the whole series were pretty impressive, and of course there were lots of players from the U.S. moving to play elsewhere, but it just shows the growth of poker all around the world.
Okay, so can you tell me a little about your tournament? I believe you made day 2 with like 17 big blinds and 176 players left.
I was cruising pretty much all day 1, had a well above average stack almost kind of all the way through until a couple hours before the end of the night, and I guess about 100 players before we made the money. I trapped the guy pretty good and got him to put in a ridiculous amount of chips pre-flop with ace-jack, and I had queens, and he hit an ace, which left me with like 10 big blinds, 100 from the money. And trying to remember, I don't think I had a double up in those 2 hours. I basically just shoved and stayed alive, and 3-bet shove and just stayed alive and barely squeaked into the money, and barely squeaked into day 2 with about 17 bigs. And for most of day 2 it was pretty much the same, just kind of surviving and finding good shove spots. There were, I think, 2 times that I kind of got up to about 40 or 50 big blinds after a big double up, but I was able to punt that away pretty quick to get back to my comfort zone. So it was definitely a short stack survival tournament for me. 30-minute blinds helped me a lot. Like, the structure is so good, it allows you to nurse a short stack much better, because the blinds aren't going up as quick. So it gives you a bit more time to find better shove spots instead of having to shove too often.
Yeah, it's not exactly the common kind of mode. I believe if I was following it correctly, you didn't make the top 10 in chips until there were only 14 left. And in a lot of online tournaments, I mean, that's just kind of hard to be one of the short stacks and just survive for that long in a tournament.
There's a lot of things against you, right? Because if you're a short stack, obviously you're going to be all in for your tournament life quite a few times, and you have to avoid running into a monster or avoid getting that deep. So it's I definitely wouldn't recommend trying to stay in the short stack because your life's always in jeopardy. But it keeps you sharp and making correct decisions because everyone's for your tournament life. So it was never boring, that's for sure.
So you did finally win some big hands when it got down to 14 players and made it into the top 10 in chips finally, and then survived to five-handed. You guys stopped to talk deal. Can you tell me a little bit about that situation? You were coming in fifth of fifth, or are you?
Yeah, like I had 25 bigs at the time, and I was the shortest stack. It's like I really like playing shorthanded, and all the players on the final table, even the final two tables, and especially when we were five-handed, everyone was playing really, really good. I don't really like to make deals, but the fact that everyone was playing good and the fact that there's just so much money that it's hard not to make a deal and just lock up that extra, $250,000 in your pocket. It's a unique situation. Most tournaments aren't for that amount of money.
Yeah, definitely. So then you did get down to three-handed, and you had kind of a frustrating, like you said, these are situations that just come up. You had ace queen versus nines, and you flopped an ace, but the other guy hit the two-outer on the turn, leave you drawing dead. Yeah. Then that was for basically a chip lead, I believe, chip lead pot.
I think I would have been tied. Like the one guy that had the huge chip lead all the way through the final table, I would have been tied with him, and the other guy would have been knocked out, of course. So, I would have been tied playing. I think we still would have been five-handed at that time, 5 or 4, and I would have been tied for the chip lead. And I would have liked my chances, but everything played a little bit different after the deal because everyone was locked up their money, and we were only playing for $100,000 for first. Not that $100,000 is anything to sneeze at, but it was winner take all. So it changed how everyone played, and I wasn't going to let any marginal spot go because I had to win. So I might not have called off with ace queen in a normal situation. I might not have even three-bet it to put myself in that situation, but I just decided to, if I can get into a flip, it's not a bad spot to take because I was, behind in chips and had to catch up to get first anyway. So
yeah,
it played a bit different, but it would have been nice to win that one for sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you still, like you said, you locked up with the deal and just getting down, coming in short, and making it all the way to five-handed. You locked up a really good score for yourself, the biggest single score of your career, and it's just a great couple of weeks. What do you got going on after this? Are you going to continue to play online tournaments, or are you going to head out to some live events in the next couple of weeks?
I've really only ever played Sundays online, other than big tournament series. So I'll have a quiet week or so here. I'll probably play next Sunday online, and then I'm most likely going to be heading to France for the World Series of Poker Europe. I'll be probably booking that trip today or tomorrow. I was sitting on the fence whether or not I was going to go, and obviously this makes it a little bit easier to cough up the travel expenses to head over to Cannes.
All right, awesome. Well, I just want to say congratulations once again, and thank you so much for talking to us. I just also want to let all the people listening know that they can check out a hand history review video that Mike is going to be making from his play in this WCOOP main event that will be going up on Tournament Poker Edge. I'm sure that'll be awesome, insightful, and who wouldn't want to learn from a guy who had such an incredible WCOOP? So make sure to check that out on Tournament Poker Edge. Thanks again, and this has been another edition of Poker Buzz right here on Card Player TV.